May your swords never be dull. That's World of Warcraft.
Well met. Yeah.
I consider Dungeons and Dragons basically Warcraft. I love Warcraft. I still play it. No apologies. I still love it.
Warcraft is Dungeons and Dragons.
It is. It totally is.
And Dungeons and Dragons is J.R.R. Tolkien. It's totally orcs and elves and fairies and whatnot, dungeons, and it all came from the guy who created the Hobbits and the whole those realms going, the quest going here and there across a map and all that,
right.
Encountering ultimate evils and whatnot.
It would be fun to do a Dungeons and Dragons game, like old school, like over Zoom, like have an actual Dungeons and Dragons game thing. I know my friend Natalie, who's been on a few reviews, she has a regular every weekend. She and their Dungeons and Dragons crew get together and play it. I'm like, that's a really cool idea. The thing is, you need a dungeon master who knows how to do it, and I don't know enough about it. So I just play Warcraft instead.
I keep getting tempted. I have friends who do that, and they're serious. I mean, they make the miniatures and they do all the stuff and totally into it. And
I love it.
Yeah, you know what though? I'm not good at it. I'm
not good.
I get slaughtered like immediately. I remember the first time I ever played Dungeons and Dragons was when I was a kid. I think it was in high school age or whatever. And some friends of mine were like, "You got to come over and play." And so I came over, and they were like, "You got to sit down for an hour and create your character now, and give points."
They should have told you that before you came over. Assholes.
Well, I do all this thing, and then you pick, are you going to be an archer or a paladin or a rogue or a whatever? And how many energy points do you want for your archery abilities and so I went through this whole thing creating this character, and then we're like, okay, now we're going to step into the castle, and I'm like, all right, go into the door of the castle, and it was like, oh, you stepped on a living rug and you've been consumed, so you're dead
and you can't come back. See, that's just a dick move. They're assholes. Not cool.
Like, what do I do now? I just sit here and watch you.
Yeah,
guys
you get to watch everyone else. That's bullshit. That wasn't cool with them. They could have changed the rules. I don't blame you for being bitter. That sucks.
Yeah. Still resentful about that. Yeah.
See, that's why I play Warcraft. I'm in charge. I have no one to blame but myself for anything that happens to me. I get to come back to life no matter what happens.
You die, you just appear in a cemetery, and you can run away from the cemetery.
That's the way it should be. You shouldn't just be out of a game.
You have to go find your dead body somewhere and resurrect.
There was a game I was playing where if you died, your whole character was gone forever. And I'm like, why would I want to play that?
Yeah.
That's too much at risk. All I'll be doing is being afraid to play. So that wasn't fun to me. So I just did not play much more of that game.
Well, it goes back to the old arcade games where, you die, you're done. You got to put another quarter in if you wanted to continue playing, but you couldn't access all the effort that you put, all your points that you gathered. They're gone.
I have like
forever.
10 years, probably more, of investment into my main character in Warcraft, and it is as beloved to me as a family member, and I will always have her, and she will always be part of me, and I will never let her go. You know her.
She saved me a few times in there and came over the hill. I remember I was like trying to fight off some zombies with a broom or something.
Burk was new. He was like level 2.
Yeah, and you said, hold on a sec, I'll be right there. And she comes flying over the hill on a flying horse, and she's got a burning sword, like this Valkyrie. She comes over and like swoops in and kills all these zombies for me. And I'm like,
it was so easy and fun. And I had a mount, which you couldn't get to like level 40 or something back then. It was so much harder. Now it's like level 10 or something. You can get a mount. Everything is a lot easier now.
I think
a little more forgiving.
My armor at that point was like short pants and sandals or something.
I think it was just cloth, and you had like a wood shield and like a wood sword. It was terrible. Yeah,
I had a broom. My weapon was a broom, I think.
That sounds about right.
A broken broom.
But you were in your beginner area. You were learning. All the enemies were like level 1, but you got to learn shit. But
right.
That's I love the game. I just it's so immersive and fun. And so when
Warcraft
these Dungeons and Dragons, Warcraft movie sucked ass though. It was the worst. And I was really excited because it was a good director, and I thought this will be really fun. No, they totally blew it. They did not understand why people like Warcraft. Exactly. Nobody. And he insisted he played Warcraft. Like, you did not play Warcraft because you got everything wrong. There was no humor. They concentrated on the orcs. Nobody likes the orcs. Nobody. Get out of there. So we had the orcs were the big main thing. I still get mad about it.
And it was David Bowie's son, and he made Moon,
Oh,
and Moon was great. I
but
loved
you
Moon.
like he doesn't have any business doing a big old crazy epic movie like that. I mean, that should have been somebody with a sense of humor, like originally Sam Raimi was going to do it. That was
Right,
the right attitude. They got the wrong attitude. Way too serious, just bad. And they didn't understand when to bring in humor. And they concentrate on this mythology that's in the cutscenes of Warcraft, where you cut to and you
right.
have this visual cinematic that I skip every time. I do not give a
I
shit.
know, I've never really loved the cutscenes. I mean,
What
it's the
you wanna
game
do is
itself that's fun.
this little ragtag group of various characters who are on a mission to go do things, and they're funny and they're together and there's camaraderie and you're doing things together. That's what the movie should be. And I think that's sort of what they're doing Dungeons and Dragons, because somebody smart decided to do something. So let's take a look
Well,
at
the
the
idea is that you each have a power. You know, there's a
Mhm.
healer, and there's a
And
warrior,
you
and
need
there's
all of them to work.
an invisible person, a rogue who can do this and this.
Yeah.
And when you go in, you plan it out, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
you do this, you do this, you do this, and I'll do the. And
Yeah.
the war, like you said, the Warcraft movie just seemed like somebody
Mm.
missed the point of
They did
what's
not have
fun
any
about
players.
playing it.
It
Yeah,
was all NPC point of view, which is the most boring part of the game. You want the player
right.
experience. You want
Or
somebody who won't
some.
stop dancing or saying dumb shit. That's what you want. And there's a great YouTube channel where they do takes on I think it's called Viva something. It's these Australian guys. They do these great like takes on video games, and they do a lot of
Right,
Warcraft stuff. And they'll be like, an NPC that won't stop talking, and what you're supposed to
right.
do, and you skip, 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 skip. It's just really funny.
He
So I
keeps
think they're
standing in
bringing
front
some
of you and
humor.
blessing you over and over.
It's like I'm not getting better. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this is bringing that humor and bringing the player type experience with humor and a lot of variables and things at stake that you care about. So let's see what this is. Very
You know what
interesting.
would be interesting for a video game like this, a video game
Mhm.
movie, which is what the experience that you get when you play a game. Like what you said
Yeah.
is missing the idea of missing the point of what is fun about video
Yeah.
games. Like, why do people play video games? They don't play them to watch the movie
No.
or to see a story
Nope.
being
Nope.
told to them. They play it because they want to go into this world and
Active.
disappear and go explore. And one thing I think would be interesting for a video game movie, like a Warcraft movie or maybe a Dungeons and Dragons movie, what if the premise was almost like a Tron kind of thing, where a regular person goes into this
Yeah.
world?
Because
And
what Jumanji was, where
yeah,
they drop into a video game and they're all these archetype characters. And the
or a
nerd is the
board
big
game,
buff guy, the rock.
yeah.
It's really cool.
But
Yeah.
if you were to go in and you were experiencing it firsthand along with
Yeah.
with the person in the movie, like there's a person
Exactly.
who's walking down the street and it's
Mhm.
like, what are those things over there? And then someone over here tells you, oh, you got to kill those
Yeah.
things. And if they
Yeah.
not exactly like the game, not like you're just watching a playthrough video on YouTube or something,
No.
but in the idea of a person being in a kind of virtual
Mhm.
realm that you're not familiar with and you're
Yeah, but then
exploring
you
and you're
get familiar though. You get good
yeah,
at it. You become that's the whole point of games is you start low, you start learning the shit, and you get better and better.
that's your
Um,
character arc.
yeah. So the point of video games is player interaction. If you're not gonna show
Yeah.
player interaction or their experience, it's not gonna succeed. And I think
And
that's one of the reasons Last of Us is so good. It's bringing that player experience to the show, which is being
since that
involved and
the
exploring.
choices don't exist in a film or a TV series like they do in a video game, you have to
Mhm.
sort of simulate the idea of feeling someone making a
Yeah,
choice and
right.
in the game. So it's kind of weird to make a movie out of a video game to start with, but
It is. But, you
except
care about these characters. So,
yeah,
all
except
right,
for
let's
Double
do it.
Dragon. Double Dragon, the best video game movie ever made.
That is the
Aside
best video
from
game movie
that,
ever. It's a high bar, though. I don't know.
yeah,
Let's see if it measures up.
yeah.
We got 10 minutes of saying not even watching the trailer. All right, here we go.
Ready to roll?
Ready,
All right,
ready. I'm excited.
here
Okay.
we go.
Okay.
Action.
On your knees.
Okay, chop it off.
Chop it off. Let's do it. Oh, we got him now. You know what? I'm thinking there are probably sharper stairs somewhere else.
We're thieves. But we help the wrong person steal the wrong thing and unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known.
The Red Wizards created an army of the undead.
Sounds lovely.
Quite the opposite.
I know, I was being ironic.
I find irony is a blade that cuts he who wields it most especially.
You're not a lot of fun, are you? How are we gonna pull this off?
We're gonna need a team.
Follow me to the orifice.
Team.
Orifice? I'll go last.
I don't mind that. He missed.
No, that's not good. Aren't you sick of failing? We could die.
There's worse things than dying.
I lost everything that ever mattered to me. And if we quit now, that's for nothing.
I don't want to see you die, which is why I'm going to leave the room.
This ends now.
Wow.
The bridge is protected by an ancient trap. We must not trigger the mechanism.
I may have triggered the mechanism. So, sorry.
Oh my god. I loved that so much. You know why? Because there was always some dumbass in your group who would trigger the mechanism every time. You tell them, don't trigger, and they go, we gotta start over.
I triggered the mechanism.
I
But to
triggered
me,
the
this kind of
mechanism.
has the vibe of what we were just talking about, where it
Yes,
seems like
perfect.
I
Oh
don't
my
know
god.
if that's what happens, but it seems like regular people that got thrown into this world somehow, because it's like, go ahead, chop off our heads, go ahead, get it. Like they're not really worried because they know they might be able to come back or something.
Yep.
And it seems like it's
Really.
got some humor that doesn't do what they're calling the Whedon-esque dialogue,
Yes.
where the characters are just rolling their eye. They, the idea that all these amazing things are happening and the characters are just going, well, that just happened. And they're just so bored by
It
everything.
just brings me
And
so much
this doesn't
joy.
this doesn't seem to be doing that.
No, it
Seems
does
like
not.
it seems like it's actually a fun movie and the people are engaged in the world that they're in.
It's getting the ragtag group. The women
Yeah.
are as strong as the men because the female characters are exactly as capable as the male characters. There was no deficit. So I love that she was just as badass as he would have been while he's at the stairs trying to get his stupid ropes done. I also love it.
Right.
They start compiling a group of people that are kind of random, which is what happens in the games also. So you don't know who anybody is or how good they are. And clearly they trigger the mechanism as always.
Right.
Because
Some
there's
people are
only one.
dumb. Yeah.
And I love there's a mission. So we have this ragtag group on a mission that seems super dangerous. We have some really fun, cool effects, like things that keep getting worse and worse and worse, just like they are in the game as you get to a higher and higher boss. I loved this trailer so much.
It looks like fun. It looks like, the
So
monster,
fun.
all the monsters from the monster book, and
So good.
although I didn't see that, the eyeball orb and things like
That's right.
that, but there's a vibe to Dungeons and Dragons, and there's a couple shots in this that were like the playing. It looked like a playing field, like a
Yeah.
flat place inside of a castle, and it looked like the kind of thing where you do your play set on the tabletop and you have your miniatures and you're moving here and here. It looked like that. It looked like a game for a moment there in the trailer. And the fact that there was a statue of a dragon and somebody put like a spell on it and the dragon came to
Comes to life.
life and you're like,
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
So this looked
But
really
it's-
fun. They have the right humor, would make it fun, people. It's supposed to be fun. God.
Yeah,
hope
the
they
point
learn
of
from
playing a
this.
game is to have fun.
Yes.
You're not playing a game to get depressed and to feel degraded and exhausted. You're playing a game because it's exhilarating and exciting, and you make progress and you follow the quest and you get closer and closer to do the thing, and there's suspense and there's fun creatures chasing you and trying to eat you and all that. And
The only thing I didn't see, which I wish they had done, but maybe that is because there aren't as many like odd races in Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not sure, but they didn't have different races like elves, and then they didn't have like you said. Well, there could have been an orc, but they have all the undead. There's all these different kind of characters. It looked like everyone was human, which means they're alliance, which kind of bugs me out a little bit, but that's okay. They're all pretty, you know. But Chris Pine looks like he's perfectly cast as like the alliance, the blonde heroic look, who isn't necessarily always good, which you can tell.
But is the world you're talking alliance like World of Warcraft, but this is Dungeons and
Yes.
Dragons. So do they have alliance and horde?
No,
Same kinda
I'm
thing?
comparing it to Warcraft, but no, they don't. But at
Oh,
the
okay.
same time, since it's based on Dungeons and Dragons, they're bringing that video game aspect to it, which I'm then equating to World of Warcraft. I see it as a merging of World of Warcraft and Dungeons and Dragons, which are actually kind of the same thing. But
They are kind
that's
of the
still
same thing.
okay.
Yeah.
But this looks really fun. It looks like this is what a video game movie should be: fun, exciting, lots of great effects. I'm super excited to see it.
And the people in it seem like game players. You know what? That sounds weird, but it seems like they're kind of self-aware that they are in a game. And I
Yeah.
think that is something that I like about it. If in fact that's what it is, they might just be wisecracking characters, but
They probably are.
the idea that our main characters are playing a game. I think that's where some video game movies kind of maybe should go.
Yeah, I mean, they're not
You know?
NPCs, so there's an X factor on how they're gonna act or how good they're gonna be. There's not this, like, an NPC that has a predetermined story arc that's gonna go one way. This could go anywhere because all these people are different, they're all playing for different reasons, so all the characters are there for their own reasons. They're random, they're put together randomly. They have this open-ended storyline depending on how well they do. So, that's what I like seeing in that. It's like it's
But
gonna
imagine
sort
if
of X factor.
imagine if one of your characters, like Rodriguez character, is it Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah.
If she was like the experienced gamer, she's played
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons 10 million times, knows everything,
Mhm.
and if Chris Pine's character, maybe this is his first time playing Dungeons and Dragons, imagine how fun that would be as a film.
Yeah.
Or some other character maybe has never played the game before, and they're like, okay, don't activate the mechanism or whatever.
Yeah, don't do the thing that you're about to do. I know it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But
But
I
the
mean, I hope
idea that
it's
they're
sort of
playing again, I
I
wonder,
don't want it to
yeah.
be playing a game. I want it to be real, but that feeling of people playing a game. Like, I want it to be inside. Like, if it's just because there's nothing more boring than watching someone else play a game. So if you take it inside and we're part of the group, but they're still acting like game characters, but because when you're in the game, you're still doing things, but feeling like it matters and it's real in a way. It's like,
But
it's hard
seriously,
to explain.
game playthroughs on YouTube, like 8 million views,
So
12
many. Yeah,
million
Twitch has
views.
so many live
Twitch,
viewing of
yeah.
people playing games, and I will watch them too, especially just to get through Elden Ring. I had to because otherwise there's no getting through it. I needed some tips.
But there is a huge market for just simply watching someone play a game.
It is. Mostly you're learning,
Even
but
if you
yeah,
have the
sometimes it's
game.
how funny they are. I mean,
I like watching them just because it's fun to sort of see how a game goes. And I don't have a tolerance level for games a lot of times. I play them, I enjoy it, but I'm really ready to sort of shut it down after about 20 minutes or something. And
yeah.
I can't really stay in that world for too long.
I
Or
know.
just
See, the
get
thing is, the longer you stay, the more it matters. Because if you just sort of briefly gloss over it, it doesn't matter. Like nothing matters, and
know,
you're just going, I don't get it. What is this? But you got to really immerse yourself in it. But
maybe I just want to stay emotionally detached.
Yes, that's true. It doesn't matter. You get heartbroken by it all the time.
Once I start feeling I feel that connection. I have to get out.
I have to get out. This game is hurting me.
Right.
Let us know what you guys think of Dungeons and Dragons. Are you a Dungeons and Dragons player? Do you play Warcraft? What do you think of this? What do you think of this gaming thing? I think they're kind of starting to crack the code of making video games into movies. I think this looks like a winner. That's just me.
Yeah, I wonder. And are they is this movie going to ruin anybody's childhood or take away your incredible memories of late nights
Hopefully
around
not.
the full ashtrays playing Dungeons and Dragons until
That's right. Eating all that
350 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. Addicted.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think, and we will see you for our review of Dungeons and Dragons when it comes out.
Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, y'all.